Hi friends, welcome to the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I'm your host Bobby and I am coming to you from southeastern New Brunswick, Canada. Today is Sunday, February the 2nd, 2025. Welcome. This is a podcast mostly about my knitting and crocheting adventures. Sometimes there is spinning in there, and hopefully if I can get to one of my 2025 goals this year, maybe looming as well. So that would be pretty cool. But anything fiber related, that's what this podcast is about. So yeah, I would first like to start off. I always love to welcome any new viewers who are watching, and to all my returning viewers, welcome back. This is episode 103, I believe, or no, 111. It's 111, episode 111. And yeah, grab your beverage of choice. I have a freshly made coffee in my beautiful New Brunswick mug that a lovely subscriber sent to me. So thank you very much. I use it all the time. I love it. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee. It's really cold out there today. I think we've been experiencing quite a cold snap. It's like minus 22 Celsius, which I know that there are places that are much colder than that, but I am not a cold person. I do not like it at all. So I am all snuggled up in my woolies today. Before I get into what I'm wearing, just quickly, I like to say show notes can always be found in the description box below. There's like a little down arrow that you can click, and I link you directly to the Ravelry pages for the designers themselves. Any makers that I talk about, I also share links to their shops down below as well. So you can find all that there. I am most active on Instagram as Inspired Knitting Podcast, and you can also follow me on Ravelry as X Country Girl 1986X. So yeah, all that's again down in the description box. So what I am wearing today, well, I am wearing my most beloved cardigan in the whole wide world. This is the Chartres cardigan. I think I'm butchering the name of it, but it is by Amy Lowden, who is Dandelion and Dogwood. She is part owner of Dandelion and Dogwood, and I absolutely love it. It is a worsted weight cardigan. It is knit top down. It does have the drop shoulder construction, which I really love because it helps to stay on. It also has the button band. There is no buttons. It's just actually there is. I think I said this last time on the podcast. There is buttons. I just never put the buttons on it. I just wrap it around myself. But the band is knit as you go, which is really nice. So you don't have to go back and pick up stitches. So for this one, I ended up using Cascade 220 and just like a black. And then I held it with black mohair, and she does need to be, she's got lots of pills on her, so I need to take my brush, and she gets a lot of love. It's a really cozy cardie. I knit it a little bit bigger than I should have, but I really don't mind that. It's just really cozy. So I'm wearing that, and then I am also wearing a shawl. This is the Mini Me shawl by Cozyupknits. I'm not going to take it off. I'll just, it is a crescent shaped shawl, and it uses one main color. So the gray was my main, and then you just pick out 10 minis, and I think you only need 10 gram minis. And then it's got like all these different stitch patterns that you do. It was really cool. The girls, Cozyupknits, they're 4 sisters from Grand Prairie, Alberta, Canada. Every January 1st, they would do a mystery shawl along. And I think the last couple years now, they haven't done one. So, but yeah, very fun. So you can head over to the Ravelry page and you can purchase the shawl. And yes, if you hear my puppy, that is Blue. She is currently in her little home until we're done podcasting because she would eat the tripod. She is a chewer. We, just a little side note, we were buying her the bark boxes. We did a 6-month subscription. She chewed through them all, and we got her the wolf pack. That is another like doggy subscription box, and we got her the box for the aggressive chewers, and she's been doing a good number on those too. There is a frisbee, and I'm saving that for the spring summer so we can go outside and really get to play. But I'm not confident. I bought her a frisbee last year, like in the summer when she was a pup, and she just chewed it and ate it. So I'm not confident that this frisbee is going to survive either, but we shall see. We shall see. Okay. So yeah, let's get on to it. I have a couple finished objects to share with you today. And I have some works in progress, as well as just a little bit of stash enhancement. So let's get started. So just gonna move some stuff out of the way here so I don't drop anything. So the first pair of socks, I don't believe I have shared these, and if I did, I apologize, but I don't think I did. I finished my Mountain Vista socks. This is a pattern by Emily of Salt City Knits. She does have a podcast, and if you don't watch her, you absolutely have to watch her. She has a wonderful podcast. I love her. She is also a yarn dyer. She goes under Yarnberry Yarns, but this is one of her patterns, and I knit this one using Nicole C. Mendez. It is a self-striping, and it's on her strong sock base. And this is in the Christmas Cookies colorway. And I absolutely love it. And I thought that it would look super cute with the pattern. So I'm just going to take one off the sock blocker here so you can get a good idea of what the patterning looks like. So as you can see here, it's like a chevron effect, and I think that with self-striping yarns, it looks just so good, and it is not hard to do at all. It's only a 4-row repeat, and it's one of those patterns that once you do it once or twice, it's in your head. And you do have a break because the back of the leg is just vanilla, so it's just on the front of the sock, and it also, get the straight note, it does go down the front of the sock as well. It's got a slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, my favorite, and yes, an absolutely beautiful pair of socks. They were supposed to be for Christmas, but in this household we don't care. We wear our woolies whenever we want. And I actually have been wearing my woolies. It seems like every year that goes by, I really need to be wearing socks. So if you're new to the podcast and you're wondering, I will not really wear store-bought socks. I have a couple pairs that have like the heavy fleece inside, like the fur. If it's really cold, I have to wear that. I have bad circulation sitting in the wheelchair, so but yeah, my feet get really, really cold, but I don't like wearing socks. In the summer, you will never find me in socks or shoes. I like being barefoot. And the advantage to being in the chair, I don't need to wear shoes unless I'm going to go into a store. I have to put shoes on my feet because it just seems proper. But yeah, all that to say, I'm finding that now in the winter, I do have to put my woolies on, so I am wearing my socks. So that was the Mountain Vista socks by Emily of Salt City Knits. So go check that out. The next pair of socks that I finished, I was working on them last time as they were a work in progress. This is just a pair of textured, like a rib texture sock. There is no pattern that I followed for this. I got this idea from Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady. She did, you do 2 plain rounds of knitting, and then you do knit 2, purl 2 for two rows, and it kind of gives you this really cool rib texture. It's really neat. So I did a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. Did about 25 rounds for the leg, or for the cuff, sorry. And the yarn is Nova Knits, who is Jenna. She is from Nova Scotia. Hi, Jenna, if you're watching. I absolutely love this colorway. This is actually a Falkland nylon base, and oh my God, it is so dreamy to work with. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to see how they're going to wear as well because of the Falkland. So very beautiful. This is in her Purple Haze colorway. So they are just so beautiful. I love them. Now I need a Musselbourgh in this color. Jenna, could you dye this color again? Jenna actually just posted a really beautiful brown and gray skein the other day, and I was just like, oh my God. But I'm trying to be good. So there we go. Super simple pattern, and it was a lot of fun to do, and I really enjoyed working with the yarn. Speaking of Musselbourghs, I actually finished my Musselbourgh, and here she is in all her glory. It is just wonderful. This is a pattern by Ysolda Teague, and if you're new, it is a double thick hat, which makes it like so luxurious. So you just start at one end. The pattern, if you're new to it, it can be a little bit confusing, I suppose, but it's written for fingering to DK roughly. I think you could use fingering, you could use sport, you could use DK, maybe even worsted, but what she does is she gives you like gauge. It's all gauge. So if you start here, you knit for about 1 inch, and then you would measure that inch and see how many stitches you have, and then you refer back to the pattern, and she'll tell you, okay, if you want to do the baby size, if you want to do, I think there's baby, child, adult small, adult large, something like that. There's a couple different sizes. So you would just look and say you're doing, this is the adult medium. So I would just look and say, okay, I have so many stitches per inch. So I look and it tells me how many stitches I need between each section of my increases. Once you've increased, you just work to the described amount of inches. From experience, I've knit, this is, I think, my 4th Musselbourgh. I've always knit them a bit shorter because after a while, I love stockinette, but after a while, the hat does tend to take a little bit of time, and you just want to bind off. And I'm going to say follow the pattern. Trust the pattern. It may seem like it's super, super long, but if you really want to fold that up and have that extra layer of warmth, knit it to what the pattern says. Once you do that, you then decrease the other side and tie it up. So the only modification is when you go to cast on, it has like a pinhole cast on. I don't do that. I just cast on the recommended stitches, and then I just start working in the round, and then I just use my tail to sew it up, and you wouldn't even know. So Ysolda has a video tutorial, kind of like a tutorial, not really, on her her site, where she talks about the Musselbourgh, and because it is quite a popular pattern, and she gives you some tips and tricks on the pattern and what you could do. You could stripe it, you could use self-striping yarn, you could do one color on the inside, one on the out. Like, there's so many options that you can do with this beautiful, beautiful hat. So I am going to put it on for you guys. It is very, very cozy and comfortable. I absolutely love it, and I am glad that I did knit it to the recommended length. That way I can have it folded. I got to wear it out yesterday. We had a family day where we went out for dinner, so I knew it was going to be really, really cold. So I was like, I need to finish my Musselbourgh. So yesterday morning, I've been doing. I am part of Crazy Sock Ladies membership, so it's a YouTube membership, and you can do. If you join it, you get an extra membership video every week. And you can also, if you would like to, go over to Facebook and join the group. And currently right now they're running a 30 minutes of knitting. So I was putting this in my 30 minutes of knitting when I was having my coffee. So that's why I got a lot of work done on it. But I decided to finish it off yesterday morning when I was having my coffee. So it took me more than 30 minutes to finish it, but I'm so glad I did because I kept my head nice and warm, which was really needed. Yesterday it was pretty cold. So the yarn that I used for this, I've been blabbing on enough, I suppose. Just gonna get the tags out here. So I ended up picking up a skein of yarn from Gobsmacked Yarn, which is Merritt's shop in Sackville, New Brunswick. And yes I do, okay. So the yarn that I'm using for my Musselbourgh, I do know that it's fingering weight held with mohair, and it's alpaca, 100 grams, 400 meters. And I'm not going to say the name because I will mess it up. But I do know that the maker comes from Quebec, I believe. And the colorway is, yeah, again, I'm not going to say the name because I'll mess it up. But I don't know why my camera's not focusing. It's on my Ravelry page. I'm using a new camera, so I guess I have to get used to it. And the mohair is Gobsmacked. And this is Those Who Are Content on her fuzz base, which is 64% kid mohair, 36% silk, 50 grams, 459 yards. So that is what I am using. And it is just wonderful. So I did reach out to Merritt and asked her yesterday because I do know that alpaca tends to stretch, and I wanted the snugness of the hat. I didn't want it to outstretch. So she told me that holding it with mohair, the mohair is kind of sticky. So I should knit it to length, and like I said, I'm really glad that I did. So thank you so much, Merritt, for that advice. So if you're thinking about using alpaca as well, and you're worried about it stretching out super far, then maybe use a mohair with it. It is super, super warm. It might be too hot for a lot of people, but for myself, it's perfect. It's perfect, especially when I wear a double. So that is my Musselbourgh, and I absolutely love it. I could see myself knitting another one with mohair again because it is just so warm. So I do have some leftovers of the yarn. So I'm contemplating, like, I have this much of my main color left, and I have about a half of my mohair left as well. So I am contemplating just holding them double and doing a pair of World's Simplest Mittens by Tincanknits just to have a matching set. I think I should have enough yarn for that. So we shall see. So this is the Musselbourgh by Ysolda Teague. Speaking of mittens, I decided that I wanted to cast on a pair. Now these are not for me, they're going to go into the gift basket, so they're either going to be a gift or possibly a market. I am setting up for market. So I just went into my stash and I grabbed out just some scraps that I had. So the cream here is Knit Picks Brava, which is 100% premium acrylic yarn. And then the blue is Loops and Threads Impeccable Tweed. And I believe the color was called Blue Haze. I don't have the tag for it, but I believe that's what it was called. So these are the world's simplest mittens by Tincanknits, one of my favorite mitten patterns in the whole wide world. They go from baby all the way up to adult large, and you can use, again, fingering weight, I believe, all the way up to worsted or chunky, something like that, which is really amazing. It is a paid for pattern, but it has a wealth of different sizes and yarns, so it is well worth it. Just like all their patterns, a lot of their patterns are like that. But here they are pretty cool. I know they're acrylic, but I'm just trying to use up what's in my stash. I have a lot of partial skeins and I just want to work on getting them cleared out. And they're really cute. I know some people don't like wool, so this is a good alternative. So yeah. So that is that. World's Simplest Mittens, Tincanknits. And I just did like some striping. I kind of followed the pattern for the cuff. I think the cuff is, to be quite honest, I don't even know if my cuff is the same length as pattern, but I just did like 10 rows. It's not really giving anything away. I did 10 rows of the white, 4 rows of blue, 4 rows of white, 4 rows of blue, 6 rows of white for the cuff. It's not giving anything away because the pattern is pretty much just vanilla. I'm just adding the stripes in because I wanted something different. I just didn't want a plain mitten, and I wanted to use up my little ball that I had left over, so that's what I did. Okay, gonna get some more coffee while it's still warm. Okay, so I have one more finished object. So I've had this kit on me for a while, and it's been sitting up on my shelf, and I keep seeing it, and I'm like, I really need to just take it down and work on it. So I'm actually just gonna find you guys the page. So I don't even remember when I picked these up, but I picked these up on the marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. Somebody had 2 kits for this beautiful little bear. It's called the Dressed Up Bear, and the pattern's designer is Lisa Van Klaveren. I don't know if you guys can make it out. I am going to list it below and link you guys directly to where you can find the, yeah, I don't think you guys can even see that. But it, oh, right there in the bottom, Bobby. Come on. There you go. So from the looks of it, this was a kit that was made by Craftsy. Yeah, hollanddesignscrochet.com and hollanddesigns.etsy.com. But it is, that's who the pattern is by, but it was a kit by Craftsy, by the looks of it. So for this bear, it used 3 skeins of acrylic worsted yarn, 2 skeins for the bear, 1 skein for the sweater. And then it gave you the paper pattern, and if you purchased it, they gave you the digital. So obviously I just have the paper pattern, which kind of put me off at first because I'm always using my Knit Companion on my phone or tablet to knit. It's not often that I work from paper, but it was fine. It was actually really cool to go old school work paper. But yeah, it's just a really cool little bear. It uses a 5mm crochet hook, and you have the option of doing the cardigan or the sweater. So I haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm thinking I want to do the cardigan. Not sure. I did look on Ravelry, and some people, they didn't do the sweaters that are in the pattern at all. They just, some people knitted them, which I think I would prefer to do, but some people did something different. So we shall see what I decide to do. I'm not sure yet. But what I did manage to do is finish the bear. And here's my little bear. I'm calling him JD right now. This is JD. And he's the cutest little thing in the whole wide world to me. I need to still do his little mouth, like detail him a little bit, but this is my bear. And like I said, he's got a cute little tail. I'm still deciding whether I want to do the sweater or the cardigan. I'm not quite sure yet, but we shall see what happens. We don't want the poor fella getting cold. So yeah, he was really cool to make. The yarn that was in the kit, there's going to be a bit of crinkling, guys. There was definitely more than enough yarn to make the bear, because this is ball 2 of, I just caked it, but this was ball 2 for the bear, and I still have that much left over. So that's fairly decent. It's nice that they give you a little extra, because not everybody's gauge is the same. So the yarn is Sprightly Yarns acrylic worsted, 80% acrylic, 20% nylon, or sorry, 20% wool, 216 yards, and this is Misty Purple. And unfortunately, I don't know what the brown one is, because I don't have the tag. But I believe it's a yarn by Craftsy. So this is the color that came in the kit to do the sweater or the cardigan. So that's what I'm going to do. The other kit I have, I believe the bear is brown as well, but it has like a teal for the sweater or cardigan, just as you saw in the picture. But yeah, so I still have to figure that out and see what I come up with. But he was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed making him. Just show him off one more time. It was really cool to crochet. I used to crochet a lot of bears and little stuffies, as I would call them, amigurumi. And I don't really do that much anymore, so I'd like to get back to it. So there's JD. So I will have that listed below. It is the Dressed Up Bear by, don't want to mess it up, Holland Designs Crochet. So I will link that below. And I'm going to take the hat off, because in here it's a little bit warm. It's a little too warm in here for a mohair hat. Okay. So I believe that's it for finished objects. I'm gonna now go on to works in progress. So the first thing that I'm gonna share with you is a pair of socks, of course, because Bobby only knits socks most of the time. So I'm pretty sure I shared this with you guys the last time. So I ended up getting a skein from Megan, who is Lichen and Lace here in Sackville, New Brunswick. And this was one of her club colorways from last year. I don't know if it was her sock train or her monthly sock club, but in December she had all the colors available so that you could purchase them if you wished. So I saw this one here. It's on her 80/20 base, which is 80% machine washable organic merino and 20% recycled nylon, 100 grams, 365 yards. Guys, I should be wearing my glasses and drinking more coffee because I can't see or talk today. But it is in the turkey feathers colorway. I'm fairly certain I showed you guys these pair of socks before, but I don't know how far I was, so here is sock number 1, and I absolutely love this colorway. I am obsessed. So it was just the main color turkey feathers that I purchased. I just got a 20-gram mini from her. This is her beetroot colorway, lichen and lace. And then I just did a 2x2 rib, and I'm doing plain vanilla, slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. And on this one, I believe I finished decreasing the gusset. Oh my god, guys, it is so beautiful. And then on this one, I casted them both on, doing 2 at a time, just on separate cords. And I have the leg done on this one, so now I just have to, now that I got that one decreased, I will go over here and I will do the heel and decrease the heel on this one now. But it just, sometimes I like doing 2 at a time like this because sometimes you get second sock syndrome. So you finish sock number 1 and then you kind of don't want to cast on sock 2. So I've been doing that. So normally what I do, I knit 1 cuff, then I cast on the second cuff. Then I go back and do the leg or part of the leg, and I just keep working back and forth. And if this one looks weird, it's just because I put the ball inside. It's to stop the yarn from getting all twisted up in the bag. So yeah, I really, really am enjoying this pair of socks. The colorway is so beautiful. So I just cast it on my usual, I cast on 64 stitches for the cuff, and then once I get to the leg, I decrease to 56 stitches, and that's what I do for the remainder of the sock. So there's that one. The next pair of socks that I am working on is in a lovely bag. I don't remember who gave this bag to me, and I don't even know who made it because there is no name on it, but it was a swap that I had done, and they sent me this beautiful bag. Very Canadian. It's got Minnie Mouse on it. It's got, oh, I just love patchwork bags. They're so cute. So, and it's got like red stars inside. So this yarn here that I'm working with, we were out on Thursday. I had an appointment in Sackville, and we did that, and then we went grocery shopping, and right across from the grocery store is Gobsmacked Yarn. So I was a little sad because when we got there, Merritt wasn't there, but we finished our groceries and I saw that she was open, so I made a beeline for her shop. And of course, I cannot go into her shop and not buy something, of course. So I picked up a skein of her yarn, Gobsmacked. And this is on her sock base, which is an 80% eco-processed merino, 20% recycled nylon, 100 yards, 370 yards. And it doesn't have a name because she just literally had finished dyeing 4 skeins of yarn. They were dry, they weren't wet, but she shared them with me and showed them, and I just fell in love with this colorway, and I was like, is it possible that I could take this one home? And she's like, yes. So it doesn't have a colorway name, but here it is. It is just so stinking beautiful. I mean, you guys, it's dark and moody, but it's got those bright colors also. It's just perfect. It is so perfect. And the skein was really cool too, because it was like the navy blue. It was mostly navy blue, and then just a portion of it was like this rainbow, and it's very interesting how it's working up. I absolutely love it. So I'll just show it to you in cake form as well. It is so pretty, guys. So pretty. So as soon as I come home, pretty much, I caked it up right away and cast it on. So I'm just doing a plain vanilla sock. I'm just doing one at a time for this one. But I did 30 rows, 2x2 ribbing, and I'm just doing a plain vanilla. And I got a little gummy bear, pink gummy bear. I don't even know where it came from. But yeah, that is one of my socks that I'm working on. I love it. Love it, love it. And then, in the same project bag, is another sock. I casted this sock on in, I'm pretty sure it was November. I thought I didn't create a project page for it, but I realized I did. So I have to go back on Ravelry, because I marked down like how many rows I did for the cuff and all that, which I'm really glad I did that, because usually I do cast on a pair of socks and I finish them right away, or relatively right away, so I don't have to write things down. But I can't remember hardly what I did yesterday, so how am I supposed to remember what I did to a sock, even though most of my vanilla socks are pretty standard, but who knows? So I can refer back to that, thank goodness, to see what I did. All that to say, I ended up bringing this project back out when I picked up the project bag, and this is another skeiny yarn I picked up from Merit's shop. This is Indigo Dragonfly, and unfortunately I do not have the tag for the yarn in this project bag, so I have no idea what the colorway name is. I believe it's called Weeding is Fundamental. I did go on Indigo's website, Indigo Dragonfly, and I found a colorway that is very, very similar to this, and that's what it's called. Weeding is Fundamental, so that might be the colorway, I'm not certain. But it's just really cool. I think I did 25 or 30 rounds 2x2 ribbing, and then I decreased down to 56, and I'm just doing plain vanilla. And as you can see here, it's rather interesting how it did like a striping sequence. And then once, because I did the same yarn for the heel flap, slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and because you did the heel flap and then you decrease the gusset, even though this is 56 stitches and so is this, because there was changes, like it just wasn't 56 stitches all the way down, it like pooled on the foot, which I don't mind that. Some people don't like pooling, but I think it's rather cool how it worked up. You got the striping on the top, and then you got some pooling on the foot. I don't mind it. I think it's really nice. So I'm excited. So because this project is sharing the same bag, I make project bags, guys. I just don't want a million project bags around, because there already is. These two sock projects are going to share the same bag right now. So my thought process is I finished sock 1 of this. So I'm going to finish sock 1 of this. Hopefully I will cast on sock 2 of this one and then finish this pair off. That's the thought process right now. It might break up the monotony a little bit, but we will see what happens. Bobby might just bring out another project bag and put them both in and work on them. Might be easier. We will see what happens, but all that to say, there's that sock. So I really am enjoying it, and I'm not quite sure why I would have ever stopped knitting on it, because it is rather beautiful. But that's just how it goes. This sock here is just living proof of it, because Bobby gets distracted by shiny new things. That's how my ADHD brain works. So there is that one. 2 vanilla socks, one of my favorite things in the whole wide world to work on. Coffee. Okay, so I have one more work in progress that I brought along. These are things that I actively am working on. So I shared with you guys last time I am doing the Jelly Roll Blanket by Kay Jones, who is part of the Bakery Bears podcast with her husband Dan, I believe is his name. I haven't watched in a while, which is a shame because I used to watch them religiously. So the Jelly Roll Blanket is a knitted blanket, and you knit strips, and as you're knitting you join the strips as you go. So once you do one strip, you're joining the next one to it, and you just keep building off of it. I am not doing that. I talked about this last time. I know from personal, I found it a bit fiddly, but I know from personal experience that if I did it that way, this blanket would never get done. So how I'm doing it is I'm just making the strips, and then I will either sew them together or crochet them together. I think I kind of want to crochet them together, but I just love looking at these little jelly rolls. So I did know I got 2 advents for Christmas. I did Deborah of Yarn Indulgences. She is a New Brunswick yarn dyer. And I also did Megan of Lichen and Lace. So I knew that I wanted to put Megan's advent, which was 24 days, 24 20-gram minis into this blanket. So before December started, I decided to start this blanket. So I had 2 jelly rolls that I finished. I'm not going to uncurl them, but I will just show them to you this way. So here's number 1. They are so fun. These are some scraps that I had gotten from the wool gathering last year in Sussex, New Brunswick, which I think the wool gathering is actually going on next weekend, I think, something like that. I don't think it's this weekend. I think it's next weekend. It's hosted by Nancy Wheeler of Knit Sip Happy podcast. Hi, Nancy. So I had picked up these. You took a baggie of scraps at 10 grams, and you could take a baggie home. So I thought that would be a good memory to put in this blanket. So I have to adjust these 2. I have to add a little bit of length to them to accommodate for the stripes from my advent, because they went a little bit longer. These were only 10 grams, so I am holding fingering weight double. I need to say that. The pattern is just fingering. I am holding fingering double. And I went off the stitch count that Kay the Crazy Sock Lady uses, because she did one of these too. So it's not giving anything away, but I casted on 18 stitches with DK weight for the size of my stripe. You could do whatever you wanted. If you wanted thicker stripes, you could do that. But that's what I did. So there's the first one. More crinkling. And then the second one that I did, I put together a advent for my best friend in Ontario last year. And these were the colors that I put together for her advent. I had leftovers, so I put them into a stripe. And then we get officially into Lichen and Lace's Advent. And we got this one. And I know I'm missing one. There's one in the bottom here. That's why. Okay. I knew I was missing one. We've got this one. So because these are 20-gram skeins, I wanted to use them all. So you do not have to do all your stripes the same length. You can make it very scrappy. You could only do little pieces. If you got like little balls that are only like 4 grams, you could put them in and start another one. You could do whatever you wanted. I decided to do the whole 20 grams in here because I wanted to use up every last bit of the yarn. So that's what I did. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I shared this one with you guys, so I won't open it up. But this is the Lichen and Lace Advent. This is day 1, day 2, day 3. Like, I was keeping it in order, just so when I looked at it, I could remember that. And then we have this one, which I shared last time. So again, I won't open it up. I was on the purple. So I put these ones in last. And again, they're all in order of the days. And then I am on to the 5th stripe now. And this is still the Advent. I really love this one. That is so pretty. And then this is the one I'm on right now. So it is a lot of fun. I am using a 3.5 millimeter needle, which is a, oops, wrong needle. Nope, still wrong needle. Maybe I need my glasses. Let's see. A US 4, 3.5. So I still have, I believe, 3 minis in my jar. I put all my minis in a jar so I wouldn't get them mixed up. But I still have these 2 left to go in. And I really love this one. It looks fun. They all do. So I think I just have these 2 left to go in, and then I have 3 more that have to go in, and it will be done. So I will have put my whole Advent into the blanket. So obviously this is only 5 stripes. I got to fix those 2 and adjust them, and I would like to start crocheting the stripes together. That way I can get an idea of how big the blanket is going to be. That way I know how many stripes to knit, shall we say. But I did already start. I actually started this just before Advent, and I put it down. I robbed the needles off of it because I needed them for the mittens. But I did already start, whoops, a 6th stripe. And this yarn here, I believe, is the Northern Pearl. My friend Angel. So I had done a pair of socks in this, so I'm just using a little bit of the yarn to do a stripe. So it looks really fun and Christmassy. So I will most likely, I'll finish the Advent, and then I'll just put this one back on the needles and do this one as well. And then I will just revert to, I have some minis in a Ziploc bag here. So I'm just grabbing any minis and I'm just holding them double. I want to put this one beside this one. This is some leftover zebra striped yarn. I believe this is Yarn Indulgences. I picked this up at the Yarn and Thorium in Kingston, Ontario. I knit a pair of socks with it. Very beautiful colorway. So I'm going to put some of that in as well. So lots of options. It's a great stash busting project, and it's really fun because you're just knitting. And it's even more fun for me because I'm just doing it a stripe at a time, so you don't have this big heavy blanket. All that to say, you could have the warm blanket on your leg as you're knitting it, and it would be really warm. But for me, because I'm sitting in the wheelchair, my lap isn't exactly even. It's kind of like my legs are kind of in a downward angle, so the blanket tends to want to slide off, and it's super heavy. So doing it this way, it's much easier for me to work with. And as another side note, I guess this is in life's happenings, but it was actually pretty exciting this week because I'm in line for a new power wheelchair. I've had my power wheelchair for 10 years now. I like to hold on to them for a while. And yeah, I'm in line for a new one. So they brought my occupational therapist and the vendor who is National Seating. They came out, I believe it was on Wednesday, with a trial chair, and I'm actually sitting in it right now. They let me keep it. National Seating is letting me keep it for at least a couple weeks anyways. That way I can get used to it, and if there's anything that I find that needs to be adjusted or added, they will do it. So it's really nice. I did not realize how much pain my old power chair was causing me, and my OT was explaining the way I was sitting in it because the way it was, and it is just amazing how my pain level has gone down being in a proper chair that's for me. So it's rather amazing. So I'm going to be quite sad when they take this one back. Sometimes it can take a while for them to get my official chair here, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be too long, because yeah, like I said, it's amazing how the pain level is decreased. Not totally, but it's decreased. So one of the things is that my legs they're going to be sitting a bit higher. The chair has brought my legs up a bit more, but not quite even, so that'll take a lot more strain off as well. So that is a side note. It does have a headrest on it. It's got a slightly higher back and a headrest. I didn't really want the headrest, but she had recommended it because I have been diagnosed with almost stage 2 osteoarthritis in my neck. I had back surgery at 11, and they took bone out of my neck to fuse the rods. I have scoliosis, and to put the rods in, they needed to take bone to fuse the rods. So because they worked on my neck, I have now developed arthritis all these years later, which isn't fun, but it is what it is. So it was something that she recommended that I should have on the chair, and I must say I've been enjoying it. I don't always have my head resting back against it, but when I feel like that buildup of pain in my neck, I just rest my head back, and it is really nice. So that's just a quick little side note, something that made me pretty happy this week. Okay, so that's it for finished objects and works in progress. So now I'm just going to share with you guys a little bit of stash enhancement that I got. So if you're not interested in that part, thank you for tuning in with me and enjoying some time with me today. I really appreciate you all. But if you are interested, do stick around. So what do I want to share first? Okay. I'm going to share something that I got for Christmas. So my friend Angela and I swapped, well, we didn't swap, it was Christmas. We sent Christmas parcels, and they came after Christmas because we had a postal strike going on. So I was super excited because I always love getting these beautiful packages from my Nomi. And I wish she could fit in the box, though, to be quite honest. I would trade all the yarn for her. I know. One of the things that she gave me was this beautiful Lego. They're sunflowers. So, Angel, I did not put it together. I do not have the patience for it. So Wrecker put it together for me, my friend, and he did it for me, and he set it up on my shelf here. So now I have these beautiful sunflowers that I can look at, and yeah, they are absolutely perfect. I don't think you could see the gnome. No. She did get me two beautiful gnomes. I have it sitting on my shelf here as well, and the other one's higher up. I wonder if I can, yes, I can. So you can see the other Nomi right there. And she also got me the sign too, that metal sign, for my birthday. My Nomi spoils me. I love her so much. So for Christmas, of course she sent me yarn. So I am super excited. She knows me so well, obviously. I know from experience we both love our Lily and Pine. So she got me Lily and Pine Fiber Arts on the Day Lily sock. Sorry. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it is 115 grams, 420 yards. So it comes with the full skein and the 20-gram mini. And this is in the Sunken Treasure colorway. And it is divine. These are definitely going to be a pair of socks, obviously. And then she got me, and I've never heard of this maker before. This is Elegantly Twisted Yarns, Andrea Hiscock. And the colorway is Sweet Celebration. It is Nova on the Nova Stardust sock base, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% Lyrics. I guess that's the sparkle because it is sparkly. I think you guys can see a bit of that sparkle. It's not boom in your face, which I really love. But here's the tag. Be a good podcaster. There's the tag. And yeah, it is just so beautiful. Angel knows I love my purple. And I really love that green too. It's very beautiful. So I love sparkle yarn, especially gold sparkle, but I honestly don't have a lot of sparkle. So I am excited. This will be socks, of course. But I am really excited. It could be a Musselbourgh, but the green, I'm not sure that I would be brave enough to actually wear it. So I think it'll be socks. But there's that one. And then I also, when I was at Merritt's shop, Merritt has, she has a cabinet up by the front of her shop, and you can bring in yarn, you could bring in fiber, project bags, books, stuff like that, and donate them to her. And people can buy stuff off of the shelf. It's cash only, and whatever you purchase, that money goes towards the food bank, the local food bank in Sackville, New Brunswick. So the yarn is not priced. It just goes off of a kind of like a scale, I guess. So it's whatever you wish to donate. So I ended up buying this beautiful skein here. So this is Malabrigo Arroyo, which is their is that Sport or DK? I can never remember now. I love it. I've knit with it before, but I can't remember if that's Sport or DK. It's probably saying it right on the label. This camera does not like to focus. Gonna have to figure that out. But oh, it's a sport weight, and it's in the Archangel colorway, so 850 Archangel. And I just gave a donation, and got this beautiful skein. And like I said, you can also donate if you would like to as well, which I think that's a beautiful thing. I really love that. That is just beautiful, because not a lot of people can afford the beautiful yarns, and this gives them a chance to purchase them, and when they do, they're making a donation to a really good cause at the same time. So I think that was really beautiful of Mara to put that together. So the last thing I have to share with you, more crinkle. I, of course, had to make an order with Area 51 Fibers, because she has been updating her shop quite regularly. I think she updates it once a week. And you guys, I cannot see her updates without falling in love and wanting to buy something. There's currently one en route. But anyways, all that to say, I made an order. This is, as I said, Area 51 Fibers. And the thing, I've spoke about this before, but she does self-striping yarn. She also is making a collection of solids as well now. She does gnome kits as well. So this one I did buy for a gnome. I don't know which one yet, but I do the Gnomes by Imagine Landscapes, Sarah Shearer, and she has two that use self-striping yarn, so I think that's what one of them will be for. But this is on the Sturdy Alien Base fingering weight yarn, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 213 yards, 50 grams. And this one is in the 80s gnome colorway. And I am an 80s baby, so I thought it was perfect. So I got that one. And then I also got, this is also on the Sturdy Alien Base, 50 grams. I got Ursula, which I believe is Disney themed. And I got two because me and my purples, and it's got black. So I had to get two of these ones. That way I could have really long socks. Because normally one sock is 50 grams. I can get away with using just a 50 gram if I do contrast for heel, toes, and cuffs, which, to be quite honest, I think a dark charcoal or a black for heels, toes, and cuffs would look really beautiful with this colorway, but we'll see what happens. Either way, I got two of them. So Area 51 Fibers, love them. They are really amazing. And I have another one coming, like I said, that I just ordered. She is doing her Valentine's Day colors kind of right now. And I picked out one of her Valentine's colors. And I got it on the DK base. And I'm pretty sure I got 100 grams of that as well. Or at least I hope I did. But I wanted some DK weight socks because, as I said, I've been wearing my knitted socks, and DK weight socks are just a little bit thicker and they're really nice. So yeah, so I will have that. Obviously they won't be done for Valentine's Day, but like I said, it doesn't matter. So yeah. Excuse me. So that is pretty much all I have to share with you guys this week. And show notes are listed down below. Thank you for hanging out with me and joining me today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon.